Today was the day that I would not have gone live.
And we
Yes,
are
we are
live.
live.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
so excited. The best thing is getting you involved in my lives, because today was one of those days when I go, I'm gonna just blow this off and forget about it, right? Just every now and again you
Yes.
get one of those days. So I'm very excited, and we're going to talk about how to get personal, because it's so
Personal?
important, right? Personal, really, really personal. So first, I'm Veronica Jeans, and I am the Shopify Queen and a best-selling author of Shopify Made Easy and Personal Success Planner. And also I've got to actually I keep forgetting about my workbook. My
Yes.
workbook is around as well, so I should put a third book in there. But
Yes.
anyway, so it's very exciting, very exciting. So today we are going to talk about how to, why should we personalize? What is personalized branding? What does it mean, right? And
Yes.
just an aside, I am broadcasting from a boat, so every now and again my internet goes a little bit wonky, and I also have a guy in the engine compartment fixing, putting water in my batteries.
A guy.
A guy. We won't tell anybody who the guy is.
No, we'll keep it a secret.
We'll keep it a secret, right? So, Tim, you introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey everyone. I'm Tim Sohn. I'm a live stream producer. I help entrepreneurs and nonprofits and brands show up on live video and make sure they actually do it and help behind the scenes so that you can just show up and focus on the conversation. And I just hang out here and push the buttons and talk occasionally.
It's brilliant, right? It's absolutely brilliant. As I said,
I love it.
it is, and I'm going to start from the bottom, right? From the bottom is show up. I mean, that is the biggest thing, is to show up. So let's talk
Yes.
about what's the difference between personal branding and just normal branding. So
Yes.
the difference is, do you know what it is, Tim?
Well, a personal brand would be more like the brand of an individual person. So like Tim Sohn or Veronica Jeans, as opposed to like Sohn Social Media Solutions or the name of your business. That would be more like a corporate
Branding.
brand or something like that, right?
Well, it's so there's two differences. So a
Okay.
personal brand is what people think of you, what they remember about you, right?
Uh-oh.
As Jeff as Jeff Bezos says, the founder of Amazon, he said, "Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room." So it's
Yes.
what do they remember about you? And then personal branding is the effort to communicate and present your value to the world. So you have to pitch up and tell people what you're doing, but is what they remember. That's personal brand. So there's personal brand and personal branding, right? So
See, I'm
true
learning
person.
already,
I
Veronica.
know,
Are you
right?
guys learning? I'm hanging out here and learning at the same time.
So yes, so really a personal brand is what people say about you, and personal branding revolves about what you say about yourself. That's a lot easier. So I'm the Shopify Queen and best-selling author. This is what I'm saying, telling you about me, but me, you remembering what I do, that would be the key, right? That will be the key. And so we're also going to talk about is why should you brand? Why should you any personal brand or personal branding? Why should you do it? Tim, do you know?
I have no idea. You
Come
better
on,
pitch
come
out
on.
because I don't know.
Because people won't recognize you. They okay. So in e-commerce, in anything that you do, whether you do coaching or services or products, people buy from people they know and trust. And how do they know and trust you? Is what if they get to know you by seeing you pitch up and popping in and talking to them, right? So we've got
Show
Aya,
up, right?
right? We're just showing up, right? Andrew's here today, and
Hey,
Aya,
Andrew.
brilliant, yes, right.
I is
So
in
just
Egypt.
Yes, I know. Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
It's just literally showing up. So you have to be out there and talk about yourself, but you also have to remember that people have to remember you. And the only way they're going to remember you is if you pitch up, if you constantly pop up in front of them, right? And
Yes.
so we mostly we talk about obviously e-commerce, since I'm the Shopify queen. So why would you want to do personal branding or and create a personal brand in I'm going to use both and confuse everybody again in e-commerce. And again, that's what I said. There is so much competition out there. If you decide to sell something, I was telling my students last Wednesday, they go, what should we sell? And I go, you're not going to reinvent the wheel, okay, unless you're pretty smart and you really are going to invent something new. But you're not going to reinvent the wheel. You're actually going to take an idea and recreate it and then sell it, right?
Right.
So there is going to be a lot of competition. So the biggest thing is how you're going to stand out from all those fishes in this very murky Houston water. You
Yeah,
can't see
right
the fish
outside your boat.
right outside my boat, right? How are you going to stand out? So there's a fish that we notice every morning we go walking, and they literally, boom, jump out of the water all the time. And you notice them, right? You don't notice any other fish swimming around. Actually, this is
Yes.
brilliant. But you notice these jumping fish. They're amazing, right? So this is what you have to be like with your business. Again, doesn't matter what you sell, is how you pitch up and when you pitch up. Because
Yes.
if you don't pop up in front of your customers all the time, then they're going to buy their stuff from somebody else, and
That's
you're
right.
literally going to lose out, right? So
Yes.
yes, I like you to say yes, yes, yes.
It's true. No,
It
it's
is
true.
true,
I mean, you
right?
have
It
to
is
show
true.
up and you have to show up consistently.
Yes,
And yeah, and talk about whatever your area of expertise is. Like you talk
that's
about e-commerce, Shopify all
exactly.
the time, right, Veronica?
Yes, exactly. So anything that you are selling, if you have a product, right? If you're selling a product, you just have to be the best person to talk about this product because you have to sell it. And the only
Right.
way to sell it is, what what's that TV show where they sell stuff? Hey, you got to buy this today. It's only $3, and you're going to use it
Yeah.
because blah blah blah. So
Like
you really,
QVC.
yes, yes. I don't know these things. I'm a foreigner, so so,
Yes,
so
you're on
you.
a boat in
I
Texas.
know, yeah, right. So you have to know your product, so you become the expert because you have to tell your customers why they should buy your product from you, right?
Right.
That's the bottom line. So if we can't get enthusiastic about our products, who's going to buy it from us? And so, yeah, so transparency. I always say you got to be transparent. And that's one of the things that e-commerce owners really don't like doing is being personal, right?
Yes.
Actually talking about their life, what they're doing, showing the cats and the dogs and the babies and what they're doing, their hobbies. And so I have to really force them to go, you got to be more personal. You got to talk about yourself. So people can literally identify themselves with you, right? Because if you
Yeah.
telling them oh, this comes way down the list. If you're telling them a story, they're going to identify with you, and that's where that trust comes in. So that well, yes, so that they actually get to know you, right? Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Tuning in from Florida. I thought
Yes.
that's
And let
another
us know what
country.
questions you have during the
Yes,
show. We would love to
absolutely,
answer them.
absolutely.
Yes.
Why should, again, here's the question, why should people buy your product from you? And I always say that somebody said to me, you're in Shopify, and why, and are you selling your services on Shopify? And I go, yes. You get, I mean,
Hello.
it's a product, right? Whatever
Right.
you're selling, whether you are selling, your product is your product live services, right? That's a product.
Right.
You are going to get money from it. You're going to get remunerated from it.
Yes,
I couldn't get that
remunerated.
out. This is my foreignness coming out. So um, exactly, right? So you got to think about how you're going to present your products to your customers, and then being transparent is how they're going to get to know you. Yes. So you
Yes.
always talking about, Tim, you're always talking about people being really themselves online when they
Yeah.
are representing themselves, right? When they're doing a live or whatever they're doing. So being transparent in an e-commerce or retail or business is letting people get to know you a little bit better. And I had a really hard time with it, right? It is
Yes.
hard to come online and go, hey, this is where I live, this is what I do, and actually popping up on lives. How did you feel when you
Yeah.
started going live?
What was that?
How did you feel before you when you started going live?
Oh, I was so nervous. Yes, I was nervous. Absolutely, I was nervous.
Yes, exactly. And so we've
Yeah.
practiced, right? We've been practicing and going
Keep
on
showing up.
live and keep showing up, and you actually get better. And then every now and again you lose your train of thought and you just got to muddle through it. It doesn't really matter. It really does matter. And so
Right.
I really like COVID has really put things into more perspective of people actually pitching up and being their natural self, right? Didn't you
Yeah.
find that?
Yeah, for sure. Not everyone, but a lot of people, yes, that I'm
Yes,
sure haven't in the past.
exactly. So being transparent also in e-commerce means having an email address on your website, having an address on your website, having a telephone number on your website. So you don't look like a fake store, right?
Right.
If you put your personal information, well, business information, on your website, people will trust you more because they. I mean, we get bombarded with so much scam these days that people don't really trust. I have a story. So I sell these African sculptures online,
Ooh.
and this guy, well, yeah, sold one sculpture this weekend is $2,500, just the sculpture.
Oh my
The
gosh.
sh- the shipping costs $70, right? And then the insurance is $20. So they're not complaining about the shipping. But my point is that the guy literally wanted to fly down to come and see the sculpture because he
Wow.
wasn't comfortable giving me his money before he got to know me. Anyway, long
Right.
story short, he couldn't come down. We had lots of emails and conversations and how things work. And eventually he called me and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to pay you the money and send me the sculpture. He said, I trust
Great.
you now because we actually literally picked up the phone and talked to each other. So,
Yes.
right, being transparent.
Yeah, that's so true. If you get on a call with somebody and just to
Yes,
get
yes,
to know them a little bit better even,
yes,
it it makes people trust you so much more. I totally
yes.
agree. I've
And
had the same experience.
I know, right? And I mean, again, you more on the coaching side and I'm more on the
Right.
e-commerce side. It doesn't really matter. So we were talking about discounts. I had a meeting last week with one of my teams, and the Amazon lady said, well, she doesn't like discounts where they have to put the code in. And I said, I love those, because when somebody forgets to put the code in, you can literally contact them and say, hey, you know, you've forgotten the code. Do you want your discount? Here, I'm giving you something, and I'm giving you the discount. And so, boom, you've made a fan, right?
Right.
So yeah, you got to use every single avenue to actually get more personal with your customers. And and people say emails don't work. Emails are so important, so important. So yes,
Yeah. And adding personality into your brand.
yes. I mean that is, yeah. I love a website that is just like, bleh, you know, and
You love them.
oh yeah, it
Yes,
is,
me too.
and it is terrible, right? So, and I think I don't know where I read this. I was reading something up last week, um, and it is so true. If somebody sees your website and it's not a nice, visually attractive website, they're going to think that's how you treat your business. If
Right.
they see you with the 1980s, well, we didn't have websites in 1980 yet. 19, well,
90s something, right?
90s, yeah, 2000. If they saw you with the
Yeah.
2000 website, they're going to say, you know what, this they are not well advanced in their business. How can I buy something from them if they're this old fashioned, right? I mean,
Right.
hello. And
Hello.
so many businesses, and I'm talking about service businesses,
Yes.
don't update the website. Isn't that sad?
Yes.
And you
I
say, why is
totally can
here?
understand that
And
and relate to that.
yes, so go and fix your website right this instant.
I have to go. I'm just kidding.
You're not allowed to go after this. You got to fix your website. You got to
Yes.
appeal to your customers, right? So you add personality to your brand and add color. Don't
Yes.
be all wishy washy. Because Anita, I love Anita's
Yes, she's
way of
here.
pitching up, and
Hi,
she
Anita.
talks about pineapples, right? I
Yes,
just think about it,
pineapple.
right, Anita? She talk about pineapples, and so she's got this starting to have this brand about pineapples and connecting the social dots. Love that. Right?
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So yeah, connecting the social dots.
Yes.
Yes,
And
Natasha,
Latasha is
you've got
saying
to say that.
awesome
Yes.
information. She's definitely realizing how important it is to update this information.
Oh yes. So
Thank you,
important. So Latasha, as well, what you need to do is whatever you have on your website, right? If you have like a banner image or a hero image, has to be reflected in your social images. And again, people don't do this. They don't. So people come from your page, your business page, or from what else is there, Instagram page or LinkedIn page, and they come onto your website and they go, "Is this the right person? Let me go back.
Right.
Is this does this make sense? The messages don't correlate, so nothing functions properly. So you have to have everything talk the same way, and it's a little bit more work because if
Right.
you have Anita's got connecting social dots. Yes, I got it right. She's branding connecting social dots, which I love saying, right? And so if she has to have everything ready for this new wave of, hey, these social dots are going to be connected on her Facebook page, on her LinkedIn
Right.
page, on her Twitter page, right? She's on
All the
Twitter a lot,
places.
Instagram, and on her website. And
Yes.
people forget their websites. I promise that. I've seen some sad
It's true.
websites. And believe me, you don't get away. If you have a sad website, I will tell you. So, so
Yes. We'll be
yeah,
talking afterwards, Veronica
yeah, we will
James.
be talking afterwards.
Yes.
Okay. So the next one is get visible to the right people. Again, we were talking about showing up and
Right.
being online, and you don't have to do a live because not everybody feels comfortable doing a live,
But you
but
could.
show up. You could, yes, and you could actually get Tim to help you, right? So
Thank you.
showing up is being on. So people go, oh, I hate Facebook, I hate this, I hate that. If you have a business, I'm sorry, this is like going to network meetings and shaking hands and meeting people, and you can
Right.
do it from your couch, on your boat, or in your lounge, right? You
Yeah.
just have to connect with people. Again, it's like, because that's the only way that you're going to meet somebody that wants your product or your services,
But how do we
right?
get visible to the right people, Veronica? How do we find our
Good
people?
question.
Should
Good
we
question.
should we use certain hashtags when we create posts?
Oh, brilliant
Is that a
idea.
good idea?
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Yes. I forgot about hashtags actually. And, go and look in places where people gather, right? So you
Right.
would go to groups where your customers gather, right? This is the group that they in. Go and also, so my little puzzle lady, I know always keep talking about Donna, my puzzle lady.
Yes.
She goes and lurks in those puzzle groups and then listens to customers to see SEO. That's a great question. She goes and listens and sees what the problems are that they're talking about. In fact, what she does is she actually picks their brains. One of the questions was how do you cope with puzzle dust? I
Puzzle
don't know. You're
dust.
puzzle dust, so you must be doing a lot of puzzles to be worried about puzzle dust, right? So,
Yes.
but what she did is she grabbed that and created a blog from it. So, so this is how you can, and then went back and posted about it and said, hey, I wrote about it. Here is how I solved the problem. That's how you can find the right people. And so SEO, but we're talking about the right people. What else? What else can you do, Tim,
SEO, you could do search engine optimization.
to find your right people? True. Yes,
Well, they could
right.
find you if you optimize your website,
Yes,
right?
yes. So search engine optimization, Nico, is asking about. Very important. But here is the secret about SEO these days. So throw everything you know about SEO, throw it out the window, throw it off the boat.
Everybody
Okay,
go like this while you're watching.
throw it off the boat. And now I want you to start rethinking SEO. And the new SEO is content. Content that is relevant to your customers. Whoa, who would have thought, right? So
Yes.
your customers will find the content that they want to read on your website. And yeah, it's very good to search about keywords. I have to do that for my book all the time to get it into the. It's very relevant for ads to get people to actually see my book and buy my book on Amazon. But to have the right keyword phrases, you will be using them automatically in your products. I hope so, because you know your products, right?
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
and then probably, I mean, I've not had people not use the keywords in the product descriptions. There are ways to do it, but
Okay.
it is important. It is important because you need to know how people are actually searching for your product. So then you have the right description in your product. It would not
Yes.
be a good idea not to have the right description in your product because you just think, well, I think of it this way, but my customers are actually searching for another way for it. So you have to really, SEO is important.
So how do you know how people are searching for you? Do you look in your analytics or how does that
No.
work? No.
Well, sometimes you don't have analytics, right? So yes, in analytics, Google Analytics is a good idea. So you would go into Google Analytics and it will show you the search terms your customers are using, or actually Shopify does a brilliant job.
Hmm.
And then you have to go to Google and start typing a description of your product, right? The title of your product. And then you can see what people are using to actually describe. And here's a tip, a tool. I use keyword. It's a Chrome extension, and it's called Keyword Everywhere. And so it's on the sidebar of my Google. So if I put a product in, if I put a description in, it gives me a whole row of different keywords that you can actually use, which is
Oh, that's
brilliant.
great.
Keyword everywhere.
Keyword
I use
everywhere.
it all the time.
There it is.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's a Chrome extension. And then also Amazon. Okay, Amazon, the titles are crazy, right? But go and look on Amazon. And so when you type something in Amazon to find your product, they will also have a drop down because people are very focused on what they're buying on Amazon.
Yes.
Yes, content is king. Yes, baby, content is king. So having a blog on your e-commerce store, golden, right? You got to write about blogs. You got to write about your content and your product and everything. Yes. Um, yes, exactly. Because it's all about searching. What are they searching for? So, and here, I mean, people are on their phones all the time, and they're actually talking to the phones, looking for local services or whatever, right? So they
Exactly.
will. You have to be pitch up on the phone or on the computer. No,
Yeah.
that's a brilliant.
That's
It's an
okay, Nico.
absolute brilliant comment.
Nico is actually local here. He's another a marketer.
You must be speaking
Thanks for joining
reluctant to
us.
experience in e-commerce business. Great show, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so important to have. So what we've actually proven is one of the puzzle lady, in fact. So
Yes.
when we meet for a work session, and she's changing stuff on her website, adding more content and descriptions, she actually gets orders because
Oh, awesome.
because because she's constantly doing it, constantly updating her website, constantly adding new descriptions and improving her descriptions, improving her keywords, and making sure that when people come onto her website, her store, they find what they're looking for. So yes, again, here's make a list of your unique selling propositions. Again, this is part of your SEO journey as well. So if somebody lands on your store or your website, do they know what you actually do? And you know what? There are so many websites you land and you go, I wonder what they do. I mean, I
That's
see
true.
there's a lot of products, but what is this? Why? What makes them unique? And so, what makes you unique? You've got to really think about it. What makes you unique, and why should people buy from you? So, you've got to make a
Yes.
list of them, right? So, I change mine constantly, always adding new stuff, always changing stuff. Always, in fact, I use Copy AI, Copy.ai.
Ah,
And so,
yes.
yes, exactly, to actually get more ideas of stuff I can put on my website and my clients' websites as well. So, yeah, Copy AI. Love
That's a
Copy
great
AI.
tool. If you haven't
Yes,
checked it out, make sure you
yes.
do.
And so, yes, absolutely. I mean, I love it. I mean, I use it on a daily basis, whether I'm doing a live, whether I'm doing a blog, whether I'm doing product descriptions or, um, whatever.
That's great.
Yes. So I did, and this is one of the biggest things is identify what makes you different from the competitors. So I refer back to I'm keeping an eye on this guy in my engine room here. so so I was teaching university students on Wednesday about e-commerce,
Nice.
and they were, I'm encouraging them to obviously open an e-commerce store, and Shopify have added us to their open learning program, which I'm very proud of.
It's amazing.
Yes. But for them to come up with ideas, and the one guy says, can I sell? He wants to sell like cell phones and laptops, and I go, you know, I know there's competition, but that competition is ridiculous, and the prices have been lowered so much you can't compete because the manufacturers are selling the product, so you can't compete with these guys. So you got to know your niche market, right? And
That's true.
so, and then what makes you different from everybody else, right? That personality comes back in again. So my little skincare lady, I mean, how can she identify her skincare to everybody else? And believe me, she sells a lot of it face to face, but she's selling online because when she sells, when she actually creates a live
Yes.
and talks about a product, amazing, right? And she stopped.
Boom.
And
Oh,
I
she
go,
stopped.
she stopped.
Let her get going
I
again.
know, right? And I said to her, you got to be online, and because again, what is she, how is she identifying herself from the thousands of people that make their own products? Because there are now so many labs, and you can start a store today and create a product with a lab and then start selling. So
Yes.
what's my take on drop shipping? One way to start an online store without spending money, baby. But your drop shipping is always the margins are a lot lower because you are selling one at a time, obviously. So the guys that are selling you the products are making the money. So in the beginning, you have to, I always say money, it costs it costs money to get money, right? So to get that product, it'll cost you because you're only selling one at a time. But at least it gives you that little bit of, hey, you can get your foot in the door. And drop
Yes.
shipping, what I love about drop shipping is you can literally um, test the waters, right? You can go, I wonder if maybe I'll sell some journals or some cups or whatever, t-shirts, whatever, right? So you can literally test the waters and see, what really sells and what doesn't. Again,
Yes.
but then again, so drop shipping is a low entry business. What how are you going to be different from everybody else in their sitting rooms and on their boats selling products? So you got to think about it. What are you going to sell and how are you going to be different? And people don't. They go, oh yeah, I think I'm going to sell this online. Boom, baby, I'm going to sell mugs and I'm going to sell pens and blah blah blah. And
Yes.
everybody can do it. So you got to think about how you're going to stand out. And here,
Yes.
this is how you can stand out: is your story. You can tell them your story, and because people like stories, right? I mean, we're always telling stories.
Yeah.
I'm I'm a storyteller, right? So you got to tell your story, and even in when you do your product description, tell them a little story, how they're going to feel. They can use it here and they can use it there, and make it fun, and be different, right? And again, on the
Yes.
story, as I said, is tell your story, right? How did you get to
Yes.
this point? Why did you start your business? Why did you decide to sell whatever you're selling? I mean, people really want to know. And I, in only a few years ago, when we were still networking and shaking hands and exchanging business cards,
Yes.
I remember people by their stories. If they had an interesting story to tell me, right?
Yeah. It's
So
true.
I'm
Yeah.
not,
I mean, with
I'm
business
not making you
cards,
say a lot today.
there's so many business cards that are, it has all the standard information, but
Yes,
what do you really know about the person?
yes, right.
Right?
So I literally remember the business card with the story. Here's Gabe.
Hey,
So
Gabe.
with this, so if I see your business card, I remember the story you told me when you gave me the business card. And if you didn't, I would go,
Yes.
who's this person? Do I know them? Don't I know them? Right. So you've got to
Right?
make an impression. That's the only way you're going to sell your services. You've got to make an impression.
Yes.
So what's
That's
next?
true. What's next?
Do you have another one?
No.
That's it? No, no.
These are all the things.
These are
These
all the
are
things,
be
right? So
transparent,
be
add
transparent.
personality,
Yes, you got to add personality, right?
get
Get
visible
visible to the
to
right
your
people.
people,
Yes,
make a list of your unique selling propositions, what makes you different,
yes.
identify what makes you different from competitors, make sure you have a Roy Jeans in the background of your video. Just kidding. And your
And your
story is
story is
relevant.
relevant, right? Your story is relevant.
Yes.
So I have my story on my website and I change it all the time. I'm always adding to it and making it better and changing it. Back to the SEO question is,
Yes.
if you are active on your website all the time, tornado person, if you change your website constantly, consistently, you will end up on page one on Google. And you know
That's
why I know
amazing.
that? Because I've done it. I've
Awesome.
literally done it. So, but you have to consistently do it. Otherwise, if you stop doing it, then boom, you know,
Yeah.
you sink off to the second page. And have you ever looked at any website that's on the second page? I've never, ever.
No.
I just redo my search, right?
Yeah. Oniko says, is your story on your landing page or homepage? Or is your homepage your landing page?
Good question. Good question. So, what I think is you should have some of your story on your homepage, not all the blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
Some of it so that it grabs the attention and you lead them off the homepage onto your landing page. Every page, okay, here's the rule. Here
Yes.
is the rule for the internet. Okay, I'm the internet queen as well, by the way. So the rule for the internet is um, think of every single page on your website as a landing page. So many times we think, oh, people are going to land on that home page, then they're going to go to this page and that page. Sometimes they just land on the product page. So your
Right.
story should be a little bit on the product page at the bottom. Yes, every
Oh.
single page should be actually not a landing page, should actually be a sales page because we are selling stuff.
Anita says, I don't sell products, but do you have any timely recommendations for promoting products with a story? For example, Christmas products related to a Christmas story.
Sure. Okay. For promoting products with a story, for example, Christmas products related to a Christmas story. Well, I don't have a Christmas story, but I mean, make something up. Use copy AI. Do you have any timely recommend for promote? You should be promoting your products right now for Christmas because all the
Yes.
Christmas songs are on. And okay, so I'm going to answer it in twofold. For Christmas, you should have relevant images in your products for Christmas. So I'll throw Puzzle Lady under the bus again. She has a cute baby with a Christmas hat in one of her puzzles. She sold more of those puzzles than ever before every time she pops that up at Christmas. And nobody remembers what your image looks like, right? And then there is a cute
Yes.
puppy with on a door Christmas door hanger with a little Christmas hat on, and that sells as well. So you got to that in itself tells a story already, right? It's a cute baby, has a little hat on, so take a picture for your kids, create the puzzles. So think about what you're selling, and then how can that relate to this a story about Christmas. I'm talking myself into a corner here, but visually, right? Visually, people are very visual, and then
Yes.
everybody that sees that image creates their own story. Aha, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
your images have to be amazing, and none of this cheap free stock photos. Buy your own stock photos.
Yes.
Do you
Gabe
use this?
says, should I have a landing page for my landing page? And Nico
Yes,
says, do you
yes.
use virtual assistants?
And go through your page and see. Okay, is there why? So you got to ask people. You got to ask yourself when you're looking at your page. What do I want people to do? Literally, what do you want people to do with the information? Do you want them to read something more? Do you want them to buy something? So there has to be what's a CTA?
Call to action.
Call to action. Thank you.
Sure.
I should know better, right? There has to be a clear call to action. It's obviously on a e-commerce site. You have got the buy button, but I mean, I have landing pages for my landing pages, but preferably, and here's another thing is your customers should not do more than 3, maybe more 2 clicks to get to where they want to get. Because Amazon, if you shop on Amazon, how many clicks does it take you? So Amazon is spoiling our customers, right? With this next day thing and all this stuff. So we have to that's our biggest competitors, Amazon. So you got to minimize your clicks on your website. Make sure that if they land, that they get the information they need, that the information is available easily, and they can view it easily. Do I use virtual assistants? Oh yeah, my virtual assistants have virtual assistants. I love that. One of my contacts said my virtual assistants have virtual assistants. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, um, if you can't if you can't do all the things that you need to do to put your um, company, your business, your store online, you know, that's a really good way to go is to get somebody to help you because you need to be in front of people to sell more. Should I place my CTA before or after? No, your button should be asking for money. Say buy now. come to the website now, right? So the button itself is the CTA and said, hey, people. But the first thing you should do is actually explain to people why they should buy things from you. And if you've been in front of your customers and they have got to know you because your personal branding and your personal brand is really sticking in their heads, they are already thinking about you, talking about you, then you can ask for money anytime. But they have to know why they're buying the product. I see a lot of bad descriptions, right? And somebody, Nika, did you ask for the drop shipping? Don't use the descriptions of the manufacturers. That is so not Google wise. Descriptions have to be better than that. They have to be personal. Here we go back to the personal, right? They have to be personal. When your customer comes on that website, they have to go, oh, she's talking about me. I need to buy this product, right? Yes. So be funny, or depending on what you're selling, right? If it's serious stuff, then obviously you can't be funny. But be personal. Make the whole thing your website. And another tip is emails. So we have these emails going out that is like a welcome email and a 404 page that people should make those personal, make them funny, make them, hey, fabulous that you bought something from us. I'm so happy you're here, come and visit us again and I'll give you a discount. Yes, the stock. And so many people don't change them. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. They just go, hey, I'm printing t-shirts, boom, here's the description. No.
Right? Yeah.
No. Okay. I really like Anita's question about the story, Christmas related.
Oh yeah,
product,
the Christmas
story. Yes, I mean Christmas related products are already showing the Christmas that it is for Christmas. So you have to explain why they should be buying this product and how it's going to make their Christmas special. And you could probably then, and not above the fold, actually, and below the fold, say, hey, I use this product in this situation. If it's not something that's a natural product that somebody's selling, explain to people how to use the product. And again, my skincare, one of my skincare ladies, I said to her, you got to tell me how to use your product. I don't know. I mean, I know to smear stuff on my face, but I might not be using it in the right order or whatever, Tell me to wash my face, dry my face, the stupid things.
It's the little things that count.
Yes. Senor Payasada says,
Hello, Senor.
What is Q?
That's a good question. What is Q, Senor Payasada? Let us know.
Yes. What is Q?
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and wait for him to answer because I want to know what Q is as well.
This has been a great conversation, Veronica, don't you think?
I know, right? And we've had some fabulous questions. Yeah, don't throw a snowball on Facebook this year. Jazz is up and at. Yes, exactly, right? I mean, and so I've noticed Anita has been really funny in her little not videos, but your posts, right? Right? And it's cute. It's cute. It makes me actually stop and want to read what she's writing about. So that again, that she's exactly the right example of getting more personal to stand out from everybody else, because otherwise everybody notices Anita because of the cute British accent, right? But still,
and
they
the
don't
pineapple.
hear, and the pineapple, right? But they don't
the
hear
British
her.
Pineapple.
Yes, the British pineapple. Yeah, where the hell are you getting British pineapples from? It's cold in Britain. So yes, so you got to do something different for Christmas. Stand out. Yeah. Before we know it, Christmas is going to be over, and we have to get ready for Valentine's again.
Yes.
Right.
And we have a special show next week, right, Veronica?
Oh yes, Tesco's from Tesco. Oh, she got she got a pineapple from Tesco's. Tesco's is like our HEB or I like it.
Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
I feel
Oh,
like
Nico
so
has one more
Nico.
question.
Hmm.
I feel like there's always a period of darkness for e-commerce brands, no sales. How do you get past that hump? Google ads, or what do you do?
So yes, I love that question. So the organic growth in any business online is 2%. So if you're growing and you're not adding, you're not spending money on ads, you are going to grow 2%, which is very slow, even if you're doing blogs and all sorts of things. Um, so you have to be online, you have to write blogs, you have to make sure that your SEO is good, that your descriptions are good. You have to show up in front of people consistently. And if you are growing without ads, I would say it would take you up to a year to make consistent sales. And it sounds horrible, but this is my experience. I mean, it just is that constant, really, really hard work to get noticed. If you're doing ads, and you can do Facebook ads, you don't have to spend a fortune, but Facebook ads, Google ads, Google can really suck your money in though. I keep away from Google ads. Um, Lots of writing, lots of content, lots of posting, and then if you're on Amazon, Amazon ads. And obviously if you're doing Facebook, the Instagram ads, and then maybe LinkedIn is doing ads as well. I've seen one of my old customers pop up. They sell men's rings, only men's rings. I think that's the website.
Oh,
And the guy that I knew sold his company for $1 million, and
wow.
that was 10 years ago. So that was amazing. So you just have to be very cognizant of how much money you're going to spend. It's like gambling, right? So I've got this amount of money I can put in my ads, but if you don't do ads, you have a brochure. And if you're not online, and if you're not doing emails, so consistently doing something, omni-channel is emailing, blogging, writing, changing your website consistently, doing ads, then you're going to get sales. It's not going to be overnight either. There's lots of
Veronica,
crickets in the beginning. Yes.
how would you prioritize, right? Like there's blogs, there's social media posts, there's Facebook ads, there's Google ads, there's LinkedIn ads, there's like how do you, like for somebody who's early on in the process,
Okay.
right?
I would start. I would start with consistently posting first, getting to know where the customers are, because otherwise you're just spaghetti.
Right.
Getting to know where your customers are and who your customers are, right?
Yes.
So not everybody is your customer, and it's
No?
really hard.
No.
No.
Okay.
And I've got two clients who have high end customers. They're selling $2,500 a product,
Wow.
$5,000. You don't just find them on Facebook, right?
Right.
So what we're doing is making sure that we are showing up on SEO on Google, because
Mm.
people are searching for our products. So you got to identify where your customers are and how they're going to find you. Then sending out emails is huge. Even if you have 5 customers, I don't care. You send out 2 emails a month, and just tell them stories. I've got one of my ex clients. He does bangles. They actually physically knot them. It's called Mystic Knotwork, and he's in
Okay.
Mystic,
Mystic,
mystic.com.
Connecticut?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know.
And he's got 2 retail stores. He's doing really well online, but he sends out a newsletter all about Mystic, right?
Yes.
Interesting things and boat things, because they're boat related, right? So
Right.
think about sending out information about your product. Don't sell all the time. Send them information about your product. Send them, hey, you can use this product with this thing, and here's a link on Amazon. Just go and buy it. To give them information. What we've done for my puzzle lady, she wrote about, oh yes, she wrote about how to create and frame your puzzle. And then at the bottom, we've actually had links to Amazon, to the glue,
Oh,
to the mat, to the there was something else that you need as well. You know, and all these things, because you're giving your people information about where they can get stuff. So you don't have to only just sell your products.
Right.
And then they have to buy my success planner there,
Yes.
because I keep them focused. So in my success planner, you will create your 90-day goals, and that's very important. Creating your 90-day goals to say, okay, I want to make X amount of money in the next 90 days. And then you're going to say is how am I going to get there? How many products do I have to sell, and how am I going to do it? And I'll show you in the planner. And it's literally a step for step. I've set it all out. What you have to do monthlies and what you have to do on a daily basis to get in front of your customers. Yes.
That's amazing.
So it's really like a goals and content um, planner. And somebody said I should call it a workbook because and my clients have asked me, they needed a plan. They needed literally, Veronica,
Yeah.
give us a step for step plan. And that's what I did. And it's not easy. It's not easy to, wow, we've been on an hour again. It's not easy to do everything and to think of it and what am I supposed to do and how am I going to do it. I've actually laid it out. Do your 4 emails, do your emails, do your blog, what are your content, do your covers, do your images, your videos. Just check it. Check. So, okay, I am talked out. I've been talking since 10:30. I think I'm done.
Yes.
You think
But
you're done?
we're almost done, but let's tell people, what are they going to expect on next week's show?
Oh, I forgot about next week's show.
Yes,
We are going
it's so
to have,
exciting, right?
we're going to have Anita on. We're going to have Brian. We're going to have Janae.
Brian
We're going to have
Schulman,
Brian Schulman. We're going to have Christian.
Christian Kirasevich
Yes.
from
And
StreamYard.
yes. And so and Anita Wong, and we're going to talk about going live, why you should go live, and we'll have all the questions. So if you want to know more about going live and how to do it, these guys are the experts. And Junaid is on Amazon Live, and I think, Jim Foos. Oh, I forgot Jim Foos.
Yes.
He's on Amazon Live and he does lives. I'm going to be on his show on Wednesday. On your Jim show, right?
Yes, I just heard. I'm so excited.
Yes. So they will be able to tell you all those of how to start, literally. And I know Brian and I talked about this, and he said, you take take your phone, and you do a little video every single day. But I won't get all the secrets out now. But you got to join us. It's going to be very exciting. So
very exciting.
Absolutely, right. I think
yes. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I mean, we're so excited. We even brought balloons for you.
Oh, cool. So that is absolutely, that's it. I'm done. I hope everybody has learned something. I love doing this on Mondays and
me too.
Answering specific questions about what to do and ideas and whatever.
All the things.
When
it comes to e-commerce and business and
exactly.
And
yes.
Tea.
And tea. Here's my tea. Mahabi Roy made me tea.
That's awesome. All right.
And I forgot to drink it.
Yes, Anita says thank you. Thank you for being here, Anita.
Thank you, for popping in.
Yes. Okay, yes. We will see you. We will see you all next week for another episode of this name of the show that we are going to figure out very soon. Yes.
We need to name the show. And now can't pinch Anita's show, which is called Connect the Social Dots, which is fabulous.
Yes. Check that show out too. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, do you want to say anything about your show on Wednesday? You've got 2 shows on Wednesday.
I have sure. So tomorrow night, I have Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer, our second episode. You can watch it on the Tim Stone LinkedIn profile, among other places. And my co-host, Kara Ulker, will be interviewing me about my journey of living with leukemia. And she's going to be asking me questions that I haven't been asked before. Some of them will be. So I think it's going to be a pretty deep conversation. So really looking forward to that. So that's actually going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night because our daughter has a concert at 7 o'clock.
Ooh.
So 9 o'clock Eastern. And then the Tim and Jim show is Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. And our guest, can you guess who our guest is going to be?
I'm going to be the guest. It's going to be amazing. Where did you go? Tim.